Hi everyone. So if you have been following me for some time, you know I actually switched from iPhone 13 mini to this S22. I recently reviewed this device, so you can go check that out. I also got this iPhone 13 green color. I wanted to try this green color, but I did not buy this phone for myself. I actually got it for my brother. So the bill is also on his name. I bought it because I had that ICICI card, so I was getting 6,000 cash back. So I said I will use it for a week, compare these phone, I'll give it back to you. But I'm switching to this phone. Why? Actually, this video is all about that. So let's watch. Let's start with the design and in-hand feel. For me, Samsung wins here. It has a better feel, slightly smaller design, matte finish on the back, which feels great and does not attract fingerprint. And the side edges are more round, even though the phone has the same flat design as iPhone 13. They both have 6.1-inch screen, but because of the bigger bezels on iPhone, Samsung has better screen to body ratio. iPhone 13 is slightly thicker as well. If I have to choose the phone only because of looks and design, Samsung wins by a huge margin for me. Unless you're buying the phone just because of that Apple logo, Samsung wins here. I also like how Samsung orthobolic coating attracts less fingerprint on the front. I'm using both phones without any screen guard, and I have to constantly clean iPhone front glass. I will soon have to put a case on this iPhone 13 because of the fingerprints also. It gets scratches easily. On S22, I've been using this over 3 weeks, nothing as of now. There's one thing that I like about Apple, and one point for it is this alert slider. If you haven't used it, that's okay, but if you use it, I think you want it on every single phone. But there's one thing that every device wins on the planet Earth over iPhone, the USB-C port. One of the reason I was eager to switch back to Android, but here we go again with two chargers. Display is also another thing where I will pick Samsung over iPhone because it has more attractive display. The iPhone has great panel, probably it is also made by Samsung, but it's the color that looks better on Samsung. Even though they are not accurate, but it's just a better display to look at. You also get high refresh rate panel on S22 as opposed to 60Hz on iPhone 13. And yes, a lot of people have been complaining that they're not getting 120Hz refresh rate panel, and I get it. For most part, it's going to feel faster. But when it comes to smoothness, I think iPhone still wins just because of those animations. It does feel slow at times if you're using them side by side, but maybe for 5 minutes. But where iOS shines is the smooth transition and barely any frame drop while scrolling the Twitter or switching between the apps. So for overall experience when it comes to apps and navigation, I still prefer iOS. It's just overall a less jarring experience. I know iPhone is boring at times, and I agree with you. If you want more from your phone, I think Samsung or Android in general is going to be better for you. But if you want reliability over functionality, I think iPhone 13 still performs better. I'm not going to compare iOS versus Android because we have done it so many times. But I do need to talk about that Apple ecosystem. Not a lot, but a little bit, because I'm using Galaxy Buds 2 for over 3 weeks now. And as long as if you're using with this Samsung phone or maybe some Samsung tablet, it's going to be fine. But when you connect it with any of the laptop, like I was connecting with the Windows laptop and Mac, there was some disconnection issues. And it's not like the Bluetooth is getting disconnected. No, sometimes one bird stopped responding and you get some sort of disturbance, one of them. And I faced that many times when I was doing Zoom calls or Google Meet calls. So that was not a really good experience. It's not like AirPods does not have any problem. There are times when you can't even connect your AirPods to your Mac. I mean, it's the Bluetooth issue in general. But when they connect, I don't find any sort of issues. And the mic quality is also better on AirPods. Another reason is I also have Mac and iPad. Even though the Android phone is going to be okay with Mac, but iPhone still performs better because the messaging and call forwarding works seamlessly. I mean, you can do that with Samsung and tablets, but with Windows, you have to set up for that Microsoft account. It's not a big deal. So if you have a Microsoft laptop, I think Samsung is going to be win for you. But if you have a Mac, I think iPhone will make more sense. I have been bored with my iPhone so many times, and I always thought when I switch to Android, I will do this, I will do that. But whenever I switch to an Android phone, I really don't have time to do any of the customization. And in the end, I just want a phone that performs, works with every app I do day to day use, and just lasts a single day. So the first issue that bothers me on S22 is going to be the performance. Yes, for name, it is the best processor that Android has to offer, but I don't think this tiny body can handle the heat that it produces. It is very hot in North India, and phone usually get warm when you use it continuously. It gets worse when you use a camera, do gaming, if you are on mobile data or under sunlight. And that's where it bothers me the most. See, I was used to those things when I was using any compact flagship device in Android, but after using that iPhone 13 mini, it has changed my perspective. If that small phone can handle the heat very well, why can't these phone? So I had to think multiple times before using this device. I know I might be exaggerating, but I really have high hopes from Samsung. I've been patient. I also waited for updates. I also waited for that learning usage pattern, which I don't think should matter when you buy a device. It should work out of the box better. But okay, I did that too. But somehow it's still been difficult for me, and another reason was the battery life. It's funny because I'm saying that iPhone has a better battery life because a while ago, you know how people used to carry power bank with iPhones, but that's not the case anymore, and they are providing great battery life. I'm getting around 2 days of battery life from my iPhone 13 with my usage, and I can barely get through a day with S22. And don't get me started on 120 hertz and 60 hertz. I also tried this phone on 60 hertz. I got around 30 minutes extra SOT. That's it. So don't expect to be a huge difference because the chip is still heating. The battery is smaller for an Android phone. So I think that's the issue over than this high refresh rate because this is supposed to be going at 48 hertz when you're watching some video or something like that. So in that case, I think that's not a big issue. So for the design, software and display, Samsung gets the point. For performance, battery and apps optimization, iPhone gets the point. I'm skipping the ecosystem part because that totally depends upon what you have. But what about rest of the stuff? Biometrics, charging, camera, sound, haptics, some basic features like always on display and network. Charging speed is slower on iPhone. It takes almost 2 hours to fully charge iPhone 13 as compared to 1 hour for S22. Network, I would say both of them are great. They both have Wi-Fi 6. Haptics are actually great on Samsung. I've been missing that haptic feedback from the keyboard as well, which is missing on my iPhone 13. In biometrics, I always preferred Samsung because of the in-display fingerprint sensor because we were wearing masks. But now iPhone also has unlock system when you're wearing mask, so that's not an issue for me anymore. But I still think Samsung is fast because you don't have to swipe up for unlocking. And if we talk about the cameras, I think it's the same story over and over again. I have compared Samsung and iPhones multiple times, so I'll tell you everything in brief. Main camera and wide camera are great on both phones. No matter which phone you choose, you're not going to be disappointed. Both are reliable cameras with minor differences here and there. Maybe it'll be white balance on HDR. But if you have one phone, I think you're going to be okay with it. It's the front camera that I like more on Samsung phones just because of the skin tones. You'll see this video and you'll understand. This is from the front camera. Both also support 4K 30 frames per second and you can see the HDR. I think from the front camera I always prefer Samsung. I don't know why this make me red. Front camera 4K 30 frames per second with HDR. Now in the sun. Looks weird. For the rear camera, I still think iPhone is the king. I think it is more smooth and more real. Look at this video for example. I'm recording from the rear camera, both are 4K 30 frames per second. As you can see, I'm walking and you can see the stabilization and the quality as well. It's sunny, so you can see the HDR as well. This is how it looks. They both look good to me. Where Samsung truly wins when it comes to telephoto, and it does work as a macro too. So if you need a telephoto lens, Samsung should be a clear choice. See, this is one of the toughest choices I had to make. I still carry my S22 because I like how it looks and feel. But when it comes to battery, I think I'm still going to use iPhone 13 over this. I am an anxious person. I want my battery to last at least full day. Also, the performance on this phone is a little better. When I was working from home, I think this phone would have been fine. But now I'm going to office and I use a lot of mobile data. This is the phone I'm going to be choosing. And the prices are also similar right now. So for that, this might be a better choice for me, but that might not be a choice for you. So you can decide for yourself. Honestly, this is the closest flagship competition you'll find. And if not right now, maybe in future, you might be thinking between buying these devices. And if you still have any confusion, you can ask me on Twitter or you can just ask me in the comment box. If you're still here, consider liking and subscribing if you think I made a decent choice. My name is Rohit. I'll see you in the next one. Till then.